everybody, this is Helena. Welcome to my live video with Adrienne Everheart on the secrets to unlocking a man's heart. I'm just waiting for Adrienne to come on so I can add her to the broadcast. And while we're getting started, feel free to type in any questions you have about anything having to do with love or dating and relationships. And Adrienne, I see you. If you could just type a comment in, I think I can add you to the broadcast that way. I see that you're joining. And we're just so excited to get started. As you've probably heard, we're starting our 4-day intensive. I don't know why it's not letting me add you to the broadcast. We're starting our 4-day intensive on Sunday. Invite to broadcast. There we go. And we're really excited. There's a couple spots left, and the price does go up in... Hi! Oh, you're looking gorgeous. Oh my gosh, your hair looks amazing.
Thank you.
I was just explaining that that our intensive is starting on Sunday, and the price is going up in a couple days. So there's still some spots left and still time to get that discount. I'm going to go ahead and share this to my my personal page. And tonight we're going to be talking about the secrets to unlocking a man's heart. So, Adrienne, while I do that, do you want to just kind of get us started on this topic tonight, and then we can go from there?
Yeah, and I'm going ahead and just sharing with a couple of our groups we have as well, Love Academy and things like that. So, yeah, this is such an important part of our program because, you know, really when you connect with a man's heart, it's not always like what we think it is. You know, it's not always these other ways that we're connecting to the man. So I thought that to really connect to a man's heart, it meant that I had to show up and be some certain way, you know, be a certain way to him and do certain things. And it really doesn't mean that at all. Connecting with his heart, this is why this class is so important, because we don't always understand what's really involved in the male brain when it comes to connecting to his heart, you know, and there's a big difference because we have, again, these old-fashioned values about what it means to connect to a man's heart. For example, I thought if a man came over and I cooked him dinner and I had my house all clean and cooked him dinner and, you know, did something really special and sat there on the date like this and just listened to all of his stories, I thought he would like me. You know, I thought that that's what it meant. You know, act interested, listen to him, show him your amazing skills as a woman, you know, even sex a little bit. A lot of times we can use sex to connect to a man's heart instead of our heart. And none of it worked. None of it worked. It would make people really, really dig me for a while. And then after that, that was it. They were out the door. They were on to something else. And I could not understand what it was I was doing. And I just wasn't connecting to their heart. So I don't know if anybody, you know, feels the same way. It's so frustrating because no one like gives you a book and said, here's how to do this. You know, no one really teaches you this. We're taught from the time we're little kids to kind of stuff down our feelings and not show what we're feeling. So it's really confusing. It's so confusing, which is why I am a dating and relationship coach, because I don't want women anywhere to be confused anymore. I want you to learn how to do this like we have.
Yes, I love everything you said. And I had a really similar experience too. You know, I thought if I was smart and funny and always had like the perfect thing to say to a guy, and then of course giving and nurturing and just showed him I was there for him, you know, I like cringe thinking about it now. You know, all the things that cross like mothering or, you know, even like teacher-like to a man, right? Or when I went into counselor mode because I wanted to help him solve his problems. And I just didn't understand, like, okay, I have it kind of all together in my life or maybe on the outside, but why are so many other women out there having such great success attracting a great guy and getting into a great relationship and getting married, and I was really struggling. And then, you know, of course, like most women, I'm sure you can relate to this too, I went online searching for all these things, and I found a lot of like strategies, like games and things that we would sort of categorize as
they
like
don't even know. The people writing those blogs don't even know. They're like, here.
Exactly. Exactly. And I've really found that like when it comes to love and relationships, mental strategies and those kinds of tactics don't work. Like men don't respond to those. They might get you a short-term result, but it's not, you know, what a man will respond to in any sort of like permanent lasting way that really feels good to us and makes us feel secure and loved in the relationship. So when it comes to, you know, unlocking a man's heart and making him just fall in love and want to stay in love forever, it's what men respond to is emotion, you know, and not drama or acting out or ways that we have maybe resorted to earlier in life when we were just trying to be heard and get our needs met and be
perfect, trying to be perfect, right?
Exactly. But a real, honest, vulnerable, raw emotion, and not emotion with an expectation on it, but just actual emotion, right? Adrienne, have you found that to be true?
I mean, I'm laughing because I'm really thinking about when I first met the man who would become husband number one. We couldn't save it, but like I wasn't that into him. You know, I wasn't that into him, and I'll never forget we had. You know, I wasn't that into him, so I really didn't care. You know, I didn't care what I did, what I said. You know, my dog threw up in the car on the way there, and I was just really like, you know, I was just flying by the seat of my pants. And and I remember coming home, and I had a roommate at a time. This was years ago. Coming home and finding out I had a bad roommate situation when I got back home, and just breaking down in tears. And him not leaving my side and just being there for me and helping me clean up the mess and not, you know, straying from me. And men fall in love with that part. They fall in love. Don't use your tears for fake, you know, sympathy, but men really fall in love with us for this sweetness we have, this realness we have. You just got to be able to find it and show it authentically. But instead, we're up here going, well, what should I talk about next? And maybe he's going to take me here. And what are we going to do over Thanksgiving? And you got to just let the guy show up and be like, hey, you know, here I am. This is what I got right now, you know, and just fly by the seat of your pants. Of course, there's so much more to this, but that's just for me, you know, that softness, that allure.
I love that. It actually reminds me, I've never actually talked about this before, but one time a man telling me that what really made him fall in love with me was the fact that deep down, when he got to know me, I was just kind of a person that really needed love, which is crazy to me. It like blew my mind because I thought, wow, it's not because I'm smart or successful or, you know, he's like, no, you really seem like someone who wanted to be loved and needed that. And that's what it was for me. And it's just such a simple thing, but it was actually huge for me because I had no idea that vulnerable side is what makes a man true.
Yeah, they want to take care of us. They want to provide for us. They want to take care of us. They want to give us pleasure at any opportunity. If you can let a man know that he's giving you pleasure. So often we come across as needy because in our minds, we're like, well, if he really wanted to be with me, he would be calling me tonight. He would come over here. And some of that's true. You know, a man's actions, it is a real thing. But more than that, it's that expectation that action means he loves you and he wants to be with you. It's not necessarily true. You know, when you lean back, you let go of that expectation of that outcome, that action. What's he doing next? Where's this going? Is he living up to this standard I have up here? That's when you get yourself into trouble because you're up here. And then the man shows up 20 minutes late and you're just like, where have you been? Well, if you would have called and you have attitude and the guy's like, I have no idea where this came from. So that's the reason that that happens to you. And it happens to all of us. And we throw the guy so off balance because he's like, where's this coming from? And you're like, oh, you don't know, you know, and that drama erupts out of us because you've been up in your head. So my thing for everybody, if you start to feel drama, if you start to feel like, you know, you want to nail him down for something he's done wrong, you're up in your head. You're up in your head. Get back into your body. And sometimes you don't want to see what's in your body. You don't want to see what you're really feeling. Maybe you're being lied to. You know, maybe you're not feeling that connection like you hoped you were, and you want to avoid it. But that's where the key to all of this is in your body.
Yeah, I've really found that to be true in myself. It can be easy to go straight to like, here's what I don't like about this situation, and I see it in clients too. You know, they'll email me about this great guy who's pursuing them and they're going on dates, and it's just this list of all the things they don't like about him, or I wish he'd be more expressive with his feelings, and we can expect a lot from men, and the truth is they're just hardwired very differently. For us to expect a man, for example, to be super free-flowing with his feelings and like we can be is kind of set up for disappointment, right?
Yeah, we're like, why aren't you crazy about me already? Why aren't you like trying to marry me? It's been, you know, yeah, no, we get that way, and nothing bad about us as women, but we just, something in us gets activated. It's some sort of an agenda, but it really is that nasty, icky, flawed. You know, I don't believe there's anything such as a true imperfection. You know, I think that you're just different. You're different and you're beautiful in your own way, and you're different. Now, one of the things that we're going to share with you guys in this 4-day intensive is something that Helena and I were both going through back when we were dating. We were both going through not the same thing, but something different that severely could have limited. I mean, I have to say, I would have probably, if I didn't know all these tools and techniques, I would have probably just sat at home and not dated. Yeah. So when our clients give us excuses like, I'm too busy to date, or right now I'm just, you know, something else is going on and I can't do that, or I'm still hung up on this man, I'm always like, look, this is what I was going through. This is what Helena was going through. And I just want to tell everyone, it's such a big thing that we're going to share with you, that it's going to change how you feel about the things that are blocking you from really opening up yourself to a man and sharing yourself with him. Yeah. It's going to change it. And so I do hope everyone, if you haven't joined already, you can join us for this 4-day intensive, because it's deep. We haven't told a lot of people about it. I've only told a very few number of people about it. And we look forward to sharing it with you all, because you're going to learn from it. It's going to change you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's no reason why you cannot have the love and relationship you want. There is just no reason. I'd love to hear, you know, we will show you exactly how to do it. And this can actually be a very simple thing for you once you kind of learn this. I wanted to share a couple quick tools, and then if anyone has any questions, feel free to type them in. I did just get a question sent to my inbox, so I can read that one too.
So whenever you're ready.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so let's start with the questions, and we can end on the tools. We're going to keep this one short tonight, and then we'll be back Thursday. We'll have a little more time on Thursday. So the question that someone, feel free to message me if you don't want your question to be out there in the comment section. That's what this person did. So she said, let's see. What does it mean when a guy says, "You're so good to me," or "You're really sweet to me," usually in the context of being affectionate or cuddling, like when I'm rubbing his back? It seems like he's showing appreciation, but this could be a sign that I'm giving too much if he's noticing and pointing it out. Reciprocating affection feels so natural to me. It's hard not to. So great question. Adrienne, what do you think about that one?
Oh man, you're smart. Whoever asked that question, you're very smart. You're very intuitive. Yeah. Because that is my immediate gut reaction when a guy says like, "You're too good for me," or you're so good to me, I don't deserve it. You're like, okay, I guess you don't, because because if he's saying that to you, And you'll say, well, do you want me to stop? And they'll go, no, by all means, please cook
Of
me
course not. Mm-hmm.
please cook me dinner. Please rub my back. Please, whatever else you're going to do for me, keep doing it. But yeah, I think you're probably leaning forward. So when I was dating, my rule for affection, and even with my husband, I don't lean in. So we'll sit on the sofa and like watch Jeopardy together or something, and he'll put his hand on mine or on my leg. And the old me used to just immediately just cling, you know.
Yeah.
Does
Yeah.
that sound familiar? Like, you know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for me, definitely. That's my thing. Affection is like my thing. I crave it. I just can't get enough of it. And I can be really needy in that area. I just can't. So I can totally relate to this question. And it's a conscious effort to do what Adrienne, I'm sure that you're about to explain, like lean back. I would love to hear some tips on that. That would be really helpful for everybody.
So when the guy kind of comes towards you and he starts being physical with you, I want you to just take a couple of beats, you know, count to 10, count to 15. Now, are you playing a game with him by counting? No, what you're doing is you're practicing. You're practicing on going from this like quick response of like, when he touches me, I have to touch him. When I do this, I have to, you're going to break that up to where you can receive. Just receive. Can you lean back and just receive from this man? Can you allow that? Can you allow him to rub your back and he asks for a back rub? That's a completely different thing.
I love that. And just think of it as an experiment. Like I'm going to experiment, I call it closing the circuit. Like you said, a man puts his hand on you and you immediately want to put your hand on his hand, or he puts his arm around you, you immediately want to reciprocate. Like I totally am that way. That's my natural tendency. So I think of it as like closing the circuit. So try leaving that circuit open just as an experiment to see how you feel, because likely feelings are going to come up. Like maybe a little bit of like, oh, he's being so wonderful to me and I'm just sitting here, I'm not doing anything. Maybe I don't deserve this, like a feeling of guilt or a feeling of I have to do something to immediately reciprocate it back. And a lot of this is unconscious. I'm sure that you aren't consciously, well, you have a ton of awareness and you're obviously super smart. So, you know, now it's probably come to the surface a little bit, but so much of this is unconscious. We think that we immediately have to give something right back to him when that's not what a man wants. In a lot of ways, what he wants is just that acknowledgement and appreciation, like, ooh, that feels so good. And that is enough giving back that you really have to do.
Yeah.
Right?
He likes to pursue you. It's a man's natural instinct to hunt and pursue you. So even something as small as affection, you're going to be married one day and married for years and years and years and years and years. Keep it going. Keep those fires going. You know, let him continue to chase you. And this goes back to my man magnet, which I teach you in class. You know, my man magnet's all about having that male energy coming towards you. It's part of it. So yeah, good stuff.
Yes, I love it. Do you want to read the questions that were sent to you? I see a few more people jumping on. Feel free to type in any questions you have or comments. And yeah, so Adrienne, was a question sent to you as well?
Yeah, this is a good one. So what do you do when a guy is blowing up your phone morning, noon, and night, even throwing out the M word? How to be sweet but not get so invested. And then she followed up with, I said, well, you know, normally we're having the opposite problem. We're like, he hasn't texted me in 3 days. And instead, you know, you're kind of having the opposite problem. So I'm not used to that. So I followed up with her and I said, well, you know, do you like this guy? You know, do you really like him? Because I know she's kind of recovering from heartbreak. And she says, yes, I do like him. I'm not scared of him as a person. I'm scared of the fact that he is moving way too fast. He doesn't even know me, and he has said marriage to me several times, and I've only been on one date with him.
Oh, wow.
And then in the past, she said the guy I was in love with before, he fell for me really hard in the beginning, and I didn't know what to say to slow it down so we could get to know each other. He had me looking at rings at 3 months. Now, this is what men do. Do they not, Helena?
Absolutely, absolutely. This seems to be a certain type of man you're attracting. Comes on strong at the beginning and then maybe fizzles out, or maybe couldn't follow through on all the things he was saying that he wanted to do. Very, very common situation. Yeah, absolutely. You know, there's different ways you can go with this. I hope you're joining us for our intensive, because we can get really deep into your personal situation. But just generally speaking, you could, I mean, I really don't know any more details about that scenario, but you could say something like, it feels so great getting to know you. And, you know, to me, it feels, I feel comfortable, or I feel better really taking my time getting to know someone before jumping into a serious relationship. It's a very simple script you could use in a situation like that.
I love
Adrienne,
that one.
what do you?
I love that one. And then also it's like, wow, marriage, you know, one part of me, of course, I'm a girl. I'm going to get super excited. Another part of me, I feel like I'm rushing it. You know, I feel like I'm being rushed a little bit. I'm curious, how do you feel? And the guy might go like, I'm not rushing anything. I'm crazy about you. I want to marry you tomorrow. And and I have to tell you, like, if he's saying that to you and you find yourself wanting to marry him, probably as soon as you say yes and start planning things, then he'll start like, that'll be the morning he doesn't text you. So I think it's really important to know your boundaries. Again, I can't talk to you. I don't know what your boundaries are. But for me, I would be like, you know, marriage is really exciting. I want to do that someday. But, oh, I feel like I'm getting like so hurried up and sped up, and it just feels good just sitting here and kissing and getting to know each other, you know. Just get into like slow it down. And then as far as you getting over invested, like, because this stuff will like, you know, sink into us, and then a few months later we're like, well, he had mentioned marriage to me, how can he walk out on me? So when it comes to not getting over invested by a guy who's just laying it on so thick, do you have any suggestions for that?
Yeah, first of all, in my opinion, you can't really tell what a guy's gonna do till like 3 or 4 months in. Like, any man can be wonderful at the beginning. He's on his best behavior. He's trying to win you, and I'm sure that a part of him really is into you, and maybe even feels this way. Doesn't mean he's gonna follow through. He's got the dopamine and the serotonin and all those, you know, brain chemicals that you get flooded with at the beginning, right? When you meet somebody new. Same thing with us. Same thing happens with us. So you can't really, I would say, let 3 or 4 months go by and see what he's doing after that. And of course, continue to date him, be open with him if it feels good to you. But don't really take anything he says like that. Don't take it too seriously until after a few months have passed. Because again, men can say a whole lot of things at the beginning. Doesn't mean they don't mean it at the time, but men tend to feel things really intensely in short bursts. They're a little different than us. So they can feel really strongly, and then reality sets in, like Adrienne said, or they feel that you have some sort of, even a hint of expectations. A man like that might tend to back off. So you don't want to overinvest. Investment is the key word here. You got to watch your level of investment. Doesn't matter what he says at that point. You got to just watch your investment.
And another great way to not get overinvested, and by the way, I have a free ebook when you join the 4-day intensive, Find the One Without Coming Undone. I have a free ebook on this about not getting overinvested and how. So one of the bigger things you can do is just keep dating. You know, let him know. Like, keep dating men, keep meeting men for coffee, and don't worry, we'll help you in class. If you, you know, have a guy and you're going on coffee dates and he's like, where were you Friday night? Like, and he's really like angry, we'll help you. We'll tell you how to have this conversation so it comes from this very soft, feminine place, instead of you guys becoming like two rams, you know, busting heads together, which is what happens when we get into our masculine energy with a guy.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
It's a good question.
Yeah. Great question. Great. I get emails like that all the time. So I can't see. Do you see any? For some reason, I can't see.
We've kind of got.
Oh wow.
We've got a celebrity watching us. I don't want to say who, but sorry if I scare you away. This is sort of exciting to see. So let's see here.
I want to slow down. I want to speed mine up and get him more focused. Attention from mine. Yes, that is typically what we hear. I love that. I love it. That's typically what we work with. That's like my specialty personally. I know Adrienne is just a genius at that too. So yeah, it's typically one or the other. For myself, it was like there was a line drawn down the middle of the page, and there were on one side the men that were just crazy about me, and I wasn't that into them. On the other was men like this. I was actually into them, and it was like very slow going and kind of, maybe they were a little busy or difficult to get a hold of. So yes, we will absolutely teach you exactly how to do this. Let's see. She wants more focused attention. I have a couple tools I want to share, before we close out.
Can I say one more thing about that, about wanting to speed it up instead of slow it down type of thing?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the worst things that can happen to you girls, listen up. You're dating like a so-so guy, and you're dating him, you like him, you're going out with him, you're practicing on him, and you're enjoying your company with him, but you are just, it's date 4 or 5, but then he flakes out on you all of a sudden. He flakes out on you.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't text you. He doesn't call you. And some part of you says, God, I can't even get that guy. Like, he's bailing on me. Okay. So he triggers you into chasing him. So watch out for that when it happens. And then you end up getting totally invested in a guy that you're not even into.
Yeah.
That's a slippery slope with
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. So for this person, I'm not using your name just in case you want to be anonymous and we post this somewhere. Such a common situation. I can't tell you how many times I've been there. In our last live video, Adrienne talked about part of her man magnet triangle. The one thing was, really important thing was other male masculine energy coming towards you. So please tell me you're dating other men, or if you're in a relationship with this guy, you're at least circular dating, interacting with other men, practicing the tools, practicing being in your feminine energy. That will shift your vibe often, and this guy will kind of snap to and kind of start to see you in a whole new way. And the great thing is, it's not something you have to talk to him about. It's not something you have to bring up and have a conversation. I need you to pay more attention to me. That will never work, So you want that other masculine energy coming towards you constantly, even if it's just a man, opening a door for you, handing you a napkin, things like that. It will really shift your vibe once you start practicing these things with other men. It's really, really important. And then that's what allows you to lean back and be totally open. It's the space and softness combination that we always talk about. You're leaning back, you're giving him space to come towards you. Then when he does show up, you're warm, you're open and inviting, you're receptive to him. That's what compels him to keep coming towards you more frequently and with more intensity.
Oh, right? Yes, those are the keys. It's all a bunch of words right now, but we will show you how to implement these and how to put them into action into your life. Anytime you tell a man you're experiencing pleasure from him, he's making you feel good somehow, he will begin to live to do that. We already know men like to make us feel good one way or another. But when it's the little things like showing up on time, wearing a clean shirt, giving you a napkin, opening a door for you, calling or texting in the morning, when you reward him with how it feels in your body and it's authentic, it's not canned and made up, that really pulls that men. So you ready to wrap up? I know we got to keep this one short. Or how are you on time?
Absolutely. Yeah. If anyone has any more questions, type them in. One tool I really wanted to leave everyone with, which is something we've never shared before, we're always wanting to give you new information in our videos and classes, is the idea of what's your superpower around men. And, this is just kind of giving you this confidence that you might not have. So if you feel comfortable typing it in, it could be anything. Personally, right off the top of my head, I think, men are kind of comfortable talking to me, and they tend to open up to me. They get the sense that I'm not going to judge them or jump all over them and take things personally. So I would say that's a superpower I have around men. So if anyone wants to type that in, if there's something that men say about you that's really positive, because really owning that and feeling great about it and then taking that out in the world, I found really gives my clients a lot of confidence and just sort of shifts their vibe a little more. Adrienne, do you have a superpower around men that you might want to share?
I do. And this is
Oh, your screen just froze. Uh-oh. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe she'll come back on. Adrienne, your screen just froze. I will re-adding you. But yeah, so type in your superpower. I'm gonna invite her to broadcast. Type in your superpower around men if you want. And
I'm so sorry, a call came through.
Here we go.
I usually have my phone on mute. So, what's my superpower? That is basically, you know, I don't judge. I don't judge. I have a very non-judging attitude to me. So I know we both got to run, and I just want to do a really quick recap. What makes a man fall deeply, deeply, madly in love with us so he does not abandon you, he does not leave your side, he is committed to you through your heart, okay? Not through your job, how much money you make, how good you look on paper, how beautiful you are. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All of my clients are drop dead gorgeous, and they've all been abandoned by men. And so your heart, your true feelings, that is what connects that man to you deeply. And it's all about your vulnerability. Now, vulnerability is kind of like this word, like, or term, like love yourself, you know, and we keep hearing it and seeing it around in everything we're reading, vulnerability, and you have to love yourself first. And we just sort of gloss over these words. In our 4-day retreat, Find the One Without Coming Undone, we're going to go deeper into what those mean and how you can actually use them into your life. Now, today, or I think tomorrow midnight, is the last day to sign up and save $50 off the price. So it's only $147 to join. You get us for the course of a whole week. It's 4 classes, plus you get our VIP library. The classes are recorded, and you'll be sent them privately to view later, but you will attend live. It's not in Facebook, but it's live on our own private platform. And of course, message us if you have any questions. We'll answer them for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So it starts on Sunday, October 15th, and we're super excited. And if you can't make the live classes, of course, send in your questions beforehand. We'll be sure to answer them. And there's just so much material that we're just so excited to share with you. If you have any questions about the program, feel free to message either one of us or send us an email. And I included a link in the title. So go check it out and sign up for your free report that Adrienne and I created together. It's the 10 steps to attract and activate masculine men. Really, really amazing tips, things we haven't really shared before. So go check that out. The link is in the title of this video. I can post it again in the comments for anyone who's interested. And if you have any more questions, just feel free to let us know. Be sure to sign up by, what did you say, midnight tomorrow night?
Yeah,
is when the price goes.
That's when the price changes. And if you're new to us, if you're just now being introduced to us, and you get our little freebie, it may have a slightly different offer, and just that comes in through your email. That's private. So just make sure you sign up. We're going to have a drawing in our next Facebook Live for anybody who signed up for the freebie. You're going to get a gift from Helena and myself. So please tune in to our next Facebook Live.
Yeah, it'll be on this page. Let's see, Thursday at 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Pacific. So send us any questions you'd like us to cover or topics, and please show up live, and we'd love to see you. We love connecting with all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you on Thursday, hopefully.
Bye.
Bye.